Welcome to 512 at the rate of Excel Foundation. Learn spoken English with SureshBabu. In this session, let us do experiment with story. For that, I would like to approach admirable story. Cinderella. Once there was a girl named Cinderella. She had a stepmother and two stepsisters who would treat her cruelly. One day, the prince invited all the young girls of the kingdom to a party. Her stepmother and two stepsisters went to the party, leaving her behind to do the household chores. She sat crying near the kitchen stove. Just then, a fairy godmother appeared before her, holding magic wand in her hand. She changed Cinderella into a beautiful girl, and her clothes were changed by magic into a beautiful dress. The fairy godmother said that she would take care of her. Don't feel short, my dear. Go to the party and have a good time. But remember, you must not stay a second after midnight. Cinderella thanked her and set off for the palace in the golden coach. The prince was charmed by her beauty and danced with her all through the party. Suddenly, the clock began to strike 12. Cinderella remembered the fairy godmother's warning and left the palace in a hurry. In her haste, she did not even notice the golden slipper slip off her foot. The prince sent his messenger to try the tiny golden slipper on all the young girls of the kingdom to find his pretty dame. When the messenger reached the Cinderella's house, her sisters did not give a chance to try that slipper. The messenger told them that the prince had ordered to try that slipper on every girl. The Cinderella tried. The tiny golden slipper fitted her foot perfectly. Her stepmother and stepsisters could not believe their eyes. The Cinderella was escorted to the palace by the gods. The prince married the Cinderella and they lived happily ever after. This is the experimental story. After listening the story, you have to do few tasks. What are those? You have to identify do forms, be forms, have forms, direct speech and indirect speech, would, could, must structures. Take your notebook and identify the verbs. Nearly 20 verbs are present in this story. You have to identify it and separate it. Write those sentences in your notebook. If you do the task, the experiment will be completed. Active voice verbs 20 and passive voice verbs 3. Totally 23 verbs you may identify from the story. If you deeply observed, that is your task. Next, would, must, could structures you have to identify. Write those sentences in your notebook. Identify the be forms sentence. Be forms, those are present in the sentence. Write down in your notebook separately. Identify the have forms. Have form verbs. Identify the direct speech sentence and indirect speech sentence. That's enough. If you do all these things, then you connected the story with experiment. If you don't do these tasks, that is just listening activity. If you completed the task, the experiment will be completed with story.